problem is that in general, when it comes to WNBA talk, you cannot say that Angel Wilson's not the best player in the world when she's not. Napheesa Collier is on a 7-0 Minnesota Lynx team and is averaging 26.3 points and 8.3 rebounds per game, and she's doing it on 51% from the field and
The Las Vegas Aces, the team everyone swore was going to three-peat like they're the Avengers of basketball, are crumbling faster than my dreams of fitting into skinny jeans after Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, there's a superstar in Minnesota who's out here rewriting the MVP script and, plot twist, it ain't Angel Wilson. Yeah, I said it.
Big commotion. So I was just letting the fans just kind of relax. Like we're not here to hurt anyone. It's a basketball play, and that's what it's going to do. We're going to continue to make basketball plays, and it's going to be physical. Is what we're trained to do. But that was my biggest thing. Was just
Welcome to the tea-spilling, stat-dropping, no-holds-barred breakdown of why Napheesa Collier is snatching wigs, breaking records, and making the WNBA's media darlings look like they're stuck in 2023. So, grab your popcorn, hit that like button, and let's get into this drama-filled hoop soap opera. Alright, let's set the scene. The Las Vegas Aces are out here looking like a reality show gone wrong. 3 straight losses. 3. That hasn't happened since 2019 when Bill Laimbeer was still yelling at refs and skinny jeans was still a thing. Their defense, leaking points like my grandma's old roof in a thunderstorm. Their offense, slower than dial-up internet in the 90s. Meanwhile, up in Minnesota, Napheesa Collier is out here playing like she's got cheat codes enabled, leading the Lynx to a flawless 7-0 start while dropping numbers that make you want to call your accountant to double-check the math. So why is the narrative still stuck on Angel like she's the only star in the sky? Let's unpack this mess with the energy of a caffeinated squirrel and the precision of a Steph Curry 3. First, let's talk about the Aces meltdown, because it's giving final season of your favorite show vibes. Promising, but oh so disappointing.
just kind of be a fan. Yes, cheer for your team. That's okay, but at the same time, this is our job. I'm not going to hurt E-Dub, and she knows that. I'm actually checking to make sure she's okay. So I don't like the instigating. It doesn't help our game. It doesn't grow our game. So that's what I was telling people, just to kind of relax. Like, it's okay.
They kicked off 2025 with a 92-78 beatdown from the New York Liberty. Ouch. Then, the Seattle Storm rolled up and hit them with a 102-82 whooping, like they were auditioning for a WWE SmackDown. Their defensive rating, it's gone from a championship level 97. 7 in 2023 to a yikes 99.6 this season. That's like going from a Michelin star meal to a gas station hot dog. Head coach Becky Hammon didn't mince words, blaming it on a lack of old school accountability. Translation? This team's got more holes than a block of Swiss cheese. Candace Parker's sudden retirement in April 2024 left them without a key leader, and the trade that sent Kelsey Plum to the Sparks for Jewel Lloyd. Let's just say the chemistry's off, like mixing orange juice and toothpaste. The bench is so thin you could fax it. Even Angel's 31-point explosion against the Liberty couldn't hide the fact that this team is struggling to find its groove. Now let's talk about Angel Wilson, because the media's treating her like she's Beyoncé at the Grammys. Untouchable, flawless, can't do no wrong. She's averaging 22.8 points and 5 rebounds per game, which, don't get me wrong, is solid. Those are the kind of numbers that get you a statue outside the arena someday. But here's the tea, those stats aren't translating to wins. The Aces are sitting at 4-2, which sounds decent until you realize they're coming off a 3-game losing streak that had fans sweating like they're waiting for a Black Friday deal to load online. Angel's out here getting buckets, blocking shots and grabbing boards, but her team's defense is giving up 10 3-pointers a game, second worst in the league. That's not MVP basketball. That's, I'm doing my best, but my squad's letting me down basketball. And yet, every sports outlet, every ex-post, every highlight reel is like, Angel Wilson, queen of everything? Hold up, pump the brakes. There's another queen in town, and she's wearing a Lynx jersey. Enter Napheesa Collier, the Minnesota Lynx's one-woman wrecking crew, who's out here playing like she's got a personal vendetta against every hoop in the WNBA. Let's break it down with numbers, because math doesn't play favorites. Napheesa's averaging 26.3 points, 8.3 rebounds, and shooting a ridiculous 51.
Win the award, while Collier sat at over 160. But as of earlier this week, Collier now sits at under 175 to win the award, while Clark's MVP odds lengthened to over 250. Collier's averaging almost 30.7 rebounds and 3 assists, and the Lynx are currently undefeated.
4% from the field and 45% from 3. If that doesn't make your jaw drop, check your pulse. She's leading the Lynx to a perfect 7-0 start, making them look like the basketball equivalent of a perfectly baked chocolate chip cookie. Golden, flawless, and leaving everyone else hungry. Her spin move to the left? Unguardable. Her pull-up jumper? Cash money. Her ability to stop, pop, or blow by defenders to the rim? It's like she's playing 2K on rookie mode. Oh, and let's not forget, she's shooting 54% from downtown. That's not just good. That's call the fire department. She's torching the league good. But wait, there's more. Napheesa's not just a scoring machine, she's a defensive juggernaut. Last season, she won Defensive Player of the Year while finishing second in MVP voting. This year, she's coming for both crowns. She's averaging steals and blocks like she's collecting Pokemon cards, and her versatility on D is unmatched. While Aja's chilling under the basket, swatting shots like she's playing volleyball, Napheesa's out here guarding the perimeter.
Won MVP last year. She has all these pieces, all these big names, and they're struggling. Napheesa Collier has, if we going band for band, Napheesa Collier has way less help. We're talking about superstardom.
Let's rewind to the start of the season, because Napheesa came out swinging like she's got a personal score to settle. Game 1 against Dallas, 34 points, leaving the Wings looking like they forgot how to fly. Game 2 against the Sparks, 23 points, no sweat. Her 57 points through the first 2 games were the most by a Lynx player since Maya Moore dropped 67 to start 2014. And guess what? Maya won MVP that year. Coincidence? I think not. Napheesa's not just having a nice season, as some commentators like to downplay it. She's out here rewriting history. Against the Connecticut Sun, she dropped 33 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks, becoming the first player ever to hit those numbers in a single game. That's not a stat line, that's a masterpiece. Meanwhile, Aja's 19 points and 7 rebounds in a loss to the Storm was solid, but the Storm shot 43.1% from the field and 36.4% from 3. That's not locking down, that's leaving the door wide open with a come on in sign. Now let's get to the juicy part, the narrative. Why is Aja Wilson still the media's golden child while Napheesa's out here doing everything but walking on water? It's like the WNBA is stuck in a time loop, replaying the same Aja is the GOAT highlight reel. Don't get me wrong, Aja's resume is stacked. 2 MVPs, 2 titles, an Olympic gold, and LeBron James hyping her up like she's the second coming of MJ. Time named her one of the 2025 Women of the Year, and her game winner against Chicago had the internet buzzing like it was 2016, and Vine was still a thing.
The game was as long as an NBA game. Napheesa Collier would be averaging more points per game than anyone, men or women. She's averaging 30 points per game this season, and her spin move to the left and the pull-up might be the most unguardable shot in all of basketball. If you're on her back and you see her start to turn over that...
But here's the problem. Legacy bias. The WNBA's marketing machine loves its established stars, and Aja's been the face of the league for years. Even when the Aces are imploding, even when her stats don't translate to wins, she's still getting the lion's share of the spotlight. Meanwhile, Napheesa's out here averaging 30 points per game in a 48-minute game equivalent, leading a perfect team and still getting the "oh, she's pretty good too" treatment. It's like comparing a blockbuster movie to an indie gem. Everyone's talking about the one with the big budget, but the indie's stealing hearts. And let's talk about that MVP race, because the odds makers and GMs are spilling the real tea. Before Caitlin Clark's injury, prayers up for her speedy recovery, she was the betting favourite at 115. Napheesa was sitting at 160 and Aja was way back at 700. Now with Clark sidelined, Napheesa's odds have jumped to 175 and Aja's still lagging behind. The WNBA's general managers, the folks who actually build these teams, voted 67% for Napheesa as the MVP favourite, with Aja getting just 25%. When the people who crunch the numbers and watch the film are telling you Napheesa's the one, maybe it's time to stop sipping the Aja Kool-Aid. But turn on any broadcast, scroll through X or check ESPN, and it's Aja's face plastered everywhere. Napheesa? She's lucky to get a footnote in the other players having a good season category. It's like the media's playing favorites at a family reunion, and Napheesa's the cousin who brought the best dish but still gets stuck at the kids' table. Here's where it gets real though. This isn't just about stats or wins, it's about impact. Napheesa's running a clinic on both ends of the court, making her teammates better and leading a Lynx squad that's humming like a Tesla on autopilot. The Aces, on the other hand, are missing Chelsea Gray's playmaking, struggling to integrate Jewel Lloyd, and looking like a team that forgot how to talk to each other. Aja's putting up numbers, but they're empty calories, like eating a whole bag of chips and still feeling hungry. Napheesa's numbers are a full-course meal, feeding her team's success and leaving opponents starving.
She can put on the brakes or blow by you to scoop to the rim. She can score pretty much any way she wants as long as she's in the paint. She's even got the little Dirk fadeaway. Dog. Oh, and she's shooting 54% from three. After winning Defensive Player of the Year last season, it looks like...
And don't even get me started on the defense. Aja's a rim protector, sure, but Napheesa's guarding everyone from point guards to centers, jumping passing lanes and still swatting shots like she's playing whack-a-mole. Last season, she was the Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP runner-up. This year, she's gunning for both, and I'm here for it. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the WNBA's favoritism problem. The league loves its superstars, and Aja's been the poster child for years. Her charisma, her accolades, her marketability, it's all catnip for the media. But when you keep hyping one player at the expense of others who are outperforming her, you're not just doing a disservice to those players, you're shortchanging the fans. Napheesa's not some rookie riding a hot streak. She was the unrivaled league MVP, led the Lynx to the finals last year, and averaged 40 points in a playoff series. LeBron and Dame Lillard were out here calling the WNBA Finals rigged because of some shady refereeing that cost Napheesa the Finals MVP. Everybody knows it, but somehow, Aja's still the one getting the crown. It's like giving an Oscar to a supporting actor while the lead gets a pat on the back, and let's talk about that May.
The Las Vegas Aces are 4-2 on the season. She is averaging 23, 10.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists, and a lot of steals on 47% from the field and 26% from three. So Fia is shooting 4% better from the field, 20% better from three. Am I right in saying that? Yeah, 20%.
While Aja's holding it down under the basket, swatting shots like she's in a dunk contest. Napheesa's out here guarding point guards, wings and bigs, jumping passing lanes like a ninja, and still protecting the rim like it's her day job. In the unrivaled league's inaugural season, she was the MVP, exposing players left and right in that fast-paced 3-on-3 format. One-on-one? Good luck. She's locking you up like Fort Knox. Her quickness, her instincts, her ability to read plays. It's like she's playing chess while everyone else is stuck on checkers. And now, in the WNBA, she's got odds makers eating out of her hand, with MVP odds at 175 compared to Aja's plus 700. That's not a race, that's a victory lap. Let's rewind to the start of the season, because Napheesa came out swinging like she's got a score to settle with the entire league. Game 1 against Dallas, she dropped 34 points, leaving the Wings looking like they forgot how to fly. Game 2 against the Sparks, 23 points, no sweat, like she was just warming up. Her 57 points through the first 2 games were the most by a Lynx player since Maya Moore dropped 67 to start 2014. And guess what? Maya won MVP that year. Coincidence? I think not. Napheesa's not just having a solid season, as some commentators like to downplay it with all the enthusiasm of a tax audit. She's out here rewriting the history books. Against the Connecticut Sun, she dropped 33 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks, becoming the first player ever to hit those numbers in a single game.
Is also not statistically as good a defender, but she's a better defender. She's still averaging a crazy amount of stocks, but she is the better defender because she's more versatile. She defends better on the perimeter. She's not as good a shot blocker, which Angel Wilson is, but she actually guards people. Angel Wilson just chills under the basket.
That's not a stat line. That's a work of art, like Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel with a basketball. Meanwhile, Aja's 19 points and 7 rebounds in a loss to the Storm were respectable, but the Storm shot 43.1% from the field and 36.4% from three. That's not locking down. That's leaving the door wide open with a neon welcome sign. Now, let's get to the juicy part, the narrative. Why is Aja Wilson still the media's golden child while Napheesa's out here doing everything but parting the Red Sea? It's like the WNBA's stuck in a time loop, replaying the same Aja is the GOAT highlight reel on repeat. Don't get me wrong, Aja's resume is stacked like a triple-decker burger. 2 MVPs, 2 titles, an Olympic gold medal, and LeBron James hyping her up like she's the second coming of Michael Jordan. Time named her one of the 2025 Women of the Year, and her game winner against Chicago had X buzzing like it was 2016 and Vine was still popping. But here's the problem. legacy bias. The WNBA's marketing machine loves its established stars, and Aja's been the face of the league for years. Even when the Aces are imploding like a bad reboot, even when her stats don't translate to wins, she's still getting the lion's share of the spotlight. Meanwhile, Napheesa's averaging 30 points per game in a 48-minute game equivalent, leading a perfect team and still getting the, "oh, she's pretty good too" treatment. It's like comparing a Hollywood blockbuster to an indie gem. Everyone's hyping the one with the big budget, but the indie's stealing hearts and winning awards. And let's talk about the MVP race, because the odds makers and GMs are serving the real tea, no sugar added. Before Caitlin Clark's injury, prayers up for her speedy recovery by the way, she was the betting favorite at 115. Napheesa was sitting at plus 160, and Aja was way back at 700. Now, with Clark sidelined, Napheesa's odds have jumped to 175, and Aja's still trailing like she's stuck in traffic. The WNBA's general managers, the folks who actually build these teams and watch film for a living, voted 67% for Napheesa as the MVP favorite, with Aja getting just 25%. When the people who crunch the numbers and make the big decisions are telling you Napheesa's the one, maybe it's time to stop sipping the Aja Kool-Aid.
The Collier winning Defensive Player of the Year this season. Like I said, I think she is coming back into this season with a vengeance, and I saw so much good defense from her in Unrivaled, and I think that's one thing about Unrivaled in that 3-on-3 full court format, and even with...
But turn on any broadcast, scroll through X, or check ESPN's homepage, and it's Aja's face plastered everywhere like she's the only player in the league. Napheesa, she's lucky to get a footnote in the other players having a nice season category, like she's an afterthought at a buffet. Here's where it gets real though. This isn't just about stats or wins, it's about impact. Napheesa's running a masterclass on both ends of the court, elevating her teammates, and leading a Lynx squad that's humming like a Tesla on autopilot. The Aces, on the other hand, are missing Chelsea Gray's playmaking magic, struggling to integrate Jewel Lloyd, and looking like a team that forgot how to communicate. Aja's putting up numbers, but they're empty calories, like eating a whole bag of chips and still feeling hungry. Napheesa's numbers are a full-course meal, feeding her team's success and leaving opponents starving for answers. And don't even get me started on the defense. Aja's a rim protector, no doubt, swatting shots like she's in a dunk contest. But Napheesa's guarding everyone from point guards to centers, jumping passing lanes like she's got a sixth sense.
Her getting exposed if they weren't able to guard one-on-one on defense. And Napheesa is somebody who exposed a lot of players with her defensive abilities, with her blocking abilities, with how quick she has gotten. She continues to elevate her game. And so I have her as a favorite, as my favorite.
Caitlin Clark, the golden goose of women's basketball, is sidelined with a quad strain, and the entire league is feeling the aftershock like it just got hit by a meteor. Ticket prices? Crashing faster than your Wi-Fi during a Netflix binge. Fan turnout? Let's just say the arenas are so empty, you could hear a popcorn kernel hit the floor, twice. And Angel Reese? Oh, she's out here strutting into stadiums like she's headlining Coachella, only to find out the crowd's more ghost town than Glastonbury. So, what happens when the WNBA's biggest star goes down and the league's left scrambling like it forgot the lines to its own show? Grab your snacks, hit that subscribe button, and let's unpack this chaos with all the wit, shade, and truth bombs you can handle. First off, let's talk about the numbers, because they're screaming louder than a tabloid headline. Caitlin Clark's injury, a left quad strain that's got her out for at least 2 weeks, has sent ticket prices into a freefall that makes Wall Street crashes look like a kiddie ride. According to TickPick, the get-in price for the Indiana Fever's June 7th showdown against the Chicago Sky at the United Center, yes, the NBA's biggest arena, moved there to handle the Clark hype, plummeted from $86 to a measly $25.
Watching this team, you can tell that something is off on both sides of the floor. This could be due to not having built the chemistry they need with the new addition of Jewel Lloyd, but this is still unacceptable output by this team. We're talking about a team that's
a 71% drop, people. 71%. That's not a sale. That's a clearance rack at a going out of business store. The average purchase price for the Fever's next 5 games? Down from $137 to $80. It's like the WNBA just put its entire season in the discount bin. And why? Because Caitlin Clark isn't playing. No Caitlin, no crowd, no vibes. It's like showing up to a party and finding out the DJ cancelled. Now, let's paint the scene. The Chicago Sky, expecting a packed house for their big rematch with the Fever, moved this game to the United Center, 23,500 seats, home of the Bulls, a legit basketball cathedral. They were banking on the Caitlin Clark effect, that magical aura that fills arenas faster than free pizza at a college dorm. But then, boom, Clark's out, and suddenly the United Center's looking like a post-apocalyptic movie set. You know it's bad when the security guard's checking his fantasy football lineup instead of directing traffic. Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie, walked into that arena like she was about to drop a mic, only to realize the mic was unplugged. The stage was empty, and the only sound was her sneakers squeaking against the silence. Twang. Another missed layup. At this point, even the hoop's like, "Girl, give it a rest. Let's not sugarcoat it." Angel Reese thought she was the main event. She's been marketed as the face of the league, strutting around with the confidence of a runway model at Fashion Week. But here's the tea. Without Caitlin Clark, the stands are emptier than a gas tank after a road trip.
Clear. Averaged 40 points in a playoff series last year. She was the finals MVP. And I understand, fair play, congratulations to Jonquel Jones winning it, but it was daylight robbery. Everybody knows. LeBron James.
Reese went on a tirade recently, claiming people are tuning in for her too, not just Clark. She said, and I quote, "A lot of women have done so much for the sport, but specifically, people are watching because of me too. Oh honey, the numbers are serving shade harder than a Real Housewives reunion. Last season, Clark's games averaged 1.178 million viewers. Games without her, a sad 394,000. That's a 39% drop when she's not on the court. And for the Fever's game against the Mystics without Clark, viewership tanked to 357,000. Reese might have the Instagram followers, but Clark's got the eyeballs, the ticket sales, and the cultural earthquake that's shaking the WNBA to its core. Now, let's get to the juicy part, the drama. This isn't just about empty seats. It's about a league that's fumbling its biggest star like a rookie dropping a wide-open pass. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's Michael Jordan. It's Steph Curry. It's Diana Taurasi with a side of espresso. She's dropping 19 points, 9, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds a game, shooting 40, 3% from the field, and making arenas buzz like they're hosting a Beyoncé concert. She's not just playing basketball. She's putting on a Broadway show with jumpers from the logo and passes sharper than a chef's knife. But what does the league do? They let her get mugged on the court like she's starring in a reboot of Hunger Games. Double-teamed, hacked, shoved, tripped. Clark's out there dodging elbows like she's in a dodgeball tournament, and the refs? They're acting like they left their whistles at home. One game she got body-checked so hard you'd think she owed someone money, and the call was nothing.
Lillard was calling the WNBA race. Everybody knows that that the WNBA final was, if not rigged, at least was decided by horrific refereeing.
Nada. Zilch. It's like the officials are auditioning for a role as wallpaper. Meanwhile, players like Angel Reese and others are out here playing like it's an MMA cage match. Reese is flexing after fouls, mean-mugging like she's in a rap battle, and throwing elbows like she's trying to win a street fight. Brittany Griner's lumbering around like Godzilla in a headband. And Dejanai Carrington's defense is less tough and more, "I'ma send you to the ER."
Collier is a great player. One of the top 3 players in the league. Maybe better than that. She has everything. She moves well without the ball. She moves well with the ball. She can get to her spots, hit you with that little fade